Have you been told it's too late to learn piano, or that kids learn faster than adults? From a piano teacher's perspective, this is one of the biggest lies out there and it's holding you back. In this video, I want to break down for you why this belief is completely false. I've taught in primary schools, I've taught in high schools, and I now teach only adults. And I can tell you for sure that adults are not slow when it comes to learning this instrument, if they put their heart to it. In this video, I want to show you how to overcome challenges of learning piano as an adult, how you can make faster progress with the right approach. Make sure you stick until the end of the video because I have a free PDF for you that will help map out your piano learning journey. Let's get into the myth. Kids learn faster than adults. You probably heard this one before. Kids find it easier to pick up a language or music because their brains are more adaptable. While that's arguably true, I want to share with you today why adults also have different kinds of advantages that I think completely beat kids when it comes to learning piano. From my 10 years of teaching experience, I feel like adults have two main great advantages over children, which is critical thinking and life experience. So for example, let me play a chord progression for you. Very simple chord progression here. I've used this for several exercises in my channel, 6-4-1-5. In my teaching experience, children perceive this chord progression completely differently to adults. When I try to teach this chord progression to children, they often go, okay, sure, let's learn it. But when I'm trying to teach this to adults, I feel like it's a lot more fun because adults often have maybe heard this sound before. You know, they had a life of experience of listening to music. So when they're learning this progression, it feels to me as if they're sort of like discovering what they already know or putting a label to what they already know. I often hear comments such as, oh, hey, this thing you just played, it sounds like this song that I know, or it sounds like this soundtrack that I know. And I love those moments as a teacher. It's sort of like a light bulb moment where they've heard about something like this, they learn what the notes are, and they instantly retain it forever because it has such meaning for them. Adults are more able to analyze their own playing. They're more likely to be able to pick out their own mistakes rather than kids. And adults also are more likely to be able to apply structured practice routines. You sort of understand what needs to get done in practice and you're more likely to stick with it. I want to talk about now what I think is the real challenge for adults trying to learn the piano. The biggest obstacle for adults learning to play the piano, in my opinion, isn't brain plasticity, but it's more about perfectionism and fear of failure. I find adults tend to be more self-critical. We often compare ourselves to other pianists, or even worse, we compare ourselves to who we think we should be by now. Have you ever caught yourself saying things like, oh, I should have been better at this part by now? Why does it take me so long to learn a simple piece? Beware, this mindset is actually holding you back. A solution I have for you is to try to shift your mindset from perfection to progress. Piano is a very long-term journey. You want to focus on small, consistent improvements instead of expecting immediate large results in a few days of practice. I want to now move on to why I think adults actually have more advantages than children when it comes to learning piano. Number one, self-motivation. As an adult, you're learning piano because you want to, not because someone is forcing you to. This intrinsic motivation leads to much better practice habits, much more consistency, and of course, long-term, much better results. Number two, critical thinking. Adults can analyze music, spot patterns, and connect concepts in a way that kids can't. As I was saying earlier in the video, adults have had a life experience of listening to music. I really enjoy coaching adults because it's such a joy to see people kind of like discover something they've heard for their whole lives, but they never kind of knew there was a name to it, and to fill in those gaps. It's something you already know, but we're just now putting a label to it. Number three, this one's an important for me, emotional depth. Adults bring a lot of their life experiences to their playing. I just find with adults, you know, we've been through some highs and lows, and we bring a certain emotional depth to playing something that I feel like kids just can't quite grasp and express. Let's say with a piece like that, a Nocturne by Chopin, I've taught this both to children and adults, and I feel like kids have an ability to, let's say, play the right notes, but it's really the adults that can really bring a sense of emotional storytelling to the piece. Let's now move to what's really holding adults back when it comes to learning piano. If age isn't the problem, then what is? The real issue is your approach. Many adults unfortunately focus on the wrong things when it comes to learning the piano. Common mistake number one is learning complex pieces too early. A lot of adult learners jump straight into complex pieces like Clair de Lune, River Flows in You, without building the core foundational skills first. It's like trying to run a marathon when you haven't learned how to walk yet. My advice for you is to first build a very strong foundation in sight reading, in music theory, and in technique before you venture into these much more complex pieces that you love listening to. Mistake number two is skipping essential exercises. Many adults skip exercises like Hanon or Schmidt or scales or arpeggios because they perceive them to be a little bit boring. And I get it, you know, they are a little bit sort of like dull after you play them for a little while, but these things are just fundamental to understanding what you're actually playing. It improves finger independence, hand independence, and it helps you to develop a much deeper understanding in music. If you're feeling a little bit lost about where to start, I've created a free Essential Piano Roadmap PDF for you. This PDF shows you what to focus on in each stage of your piano learning journey. It's completely free. Please download it using the link below. So let me give you some very, very quick practical tips for how to learn piano as an adult if you want to be successful. Number one, stop comparing yourself to other people. Your journey is unique. Don't compare your own playing to a professional piano player. Often when you look at professional piano players playing on YouTube, that is the culmination of 10 to 20 years of hardcore training summed up into, 3 and 4 minutes. We have to be realistic in what we can achieve in our first year or second year, where we log in, our first kind of like 1,000 hours of practice. We simply cannot compare ourselves to someone who's done their 15,000 hours. Number two, set realistic bite-sized goals. I want you to think about a piece as many projects. So let's say today you might want to, learn half a page. Focus all your attention on that half a page. By the end of that practice session, try to actually get, some level of hands separately or hands together for that half page. And then when you get the notes of that, try to celebrate it. I find some adults lack this kind of skill of celebrating their wins. Half a page is a lot of music. You're talking about sometimes hundreds of notes just in half a page. Celebrate your realistic and bite-sized goals. So set these realistic bite-sized goals, and when you achieve them, celebrate them. Number three, embrace beginner exercises. Don't skip fundamental things like practicing your scales, your arpeggios, or doing some, sight reading. They may seem basic for now, but these are the essential building blocks that will help you to play what you love. And number four, this is probably the most important one, but please be patient with yourself. Remember that progress takes time. You're not too old to learn this. You just need to approach learning in the right way. If you want a step-by-step guide to mastering essential piano skills as an adult, join the waitlist for my Keys to Mastery piano course. It's specifically designed for adults to help you learn solid foundations and to play with confidence after you go through it. You can find the waitlist in a link in the description below. So let me wrap up with my key message for this video. It's not your age that is holding you back. It's your mindset and your learning approach. So please stop believing that adults can't learn piano. Try to embrace progress rather than perfection and keep moving forward. If you haven't already, make sure to download my free PDF, the Essential Piano Roadmap, that will help spell out what you need to do in each level of piano learning. And also, if you're serious about your piano progression, feel free to join the waitlist to my course, The Keys to Mastery. It will give you a very structured path to follow as a piano learner. What's your biggest challenge learning piano as an adult? Let me know in the comments below. Happy practicing, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.